Hey everyone, I wanted to come on here today to teach you a little bit about how to meet your guides, your spirit guides, because I get a lot of requests from people wanting a reading for me to tune into their guides and to tell them who they are. And I don't do that because your guides want to meet you and form a relationship with you directly, not through me or any other medium. They could come through in readings, but why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to get to know your own spirit team, right? So let me just real quick, and then I'll get to the meat and potatoes of it, and I'll put in the notes of this video where the actual exercise starts. So if you want to skip this, you totally can. You don't have to listen to me talk if you already know the drill. The way I view spirit guides are not exactly your loved ones who have passed, although they can be in spirit and help guide you. Of course, I was taught by spirit that your spirit guides have been with you since you were born, from birth, maybe even before. And if you read some listen to me, some near death experience, NDE accounts, they will talk about people that they met on the other side that they didn't know in life, but they met them on the other side when they briefly passed before they came back. And they're like, I've known this soul forever. Who is this? And it's a spirit guide. So I think we all have them. I have three main ones that I work with that help me with different things. Um, and then I have another one that kind of helps me with readings, like specifically, almost like a bodyguard, but they all do. But anyway, enough about my people. These guides are there to help us. It is your, as Laurel and Jackson, the very famous, very accomplished, very talented psychic medium and friend of mine, always says, your team of light. They're your team of light, your spirit team, your spirit guides, whatever you want to call them. I like to think a team of light includes your family members and loved ones who've passed. So I might not use that, but pretty much the same thing. Anyway, so these are your guides, and the things they can help you with are pretty much anything. Like I've literally asked my guides when I used to drive before I lived in Manhattan, like, what time should I leave my house to get a spot when I go to the mall later? And they'd be like, oh, 5:54. And I would leave and then I would find a spot right in front. Silly things like that. Or you could ask them about, you know, big decisions you're making in your life, things about your life purpose, things about world events. There's really no limit to the information that they can give you. So that's what spirit guides are. They're almost like having a cheat code in your life. They're not going to solve all your problems. They're not going to tell you the answer to everything. Some things need to be experienced, and you need to go through tough stuff sometimes in order to grow. So they're not going to help you cheat in that way, but for little things, hints, help, absolutely. That's what they're there for. Um, so that's what a spirit guide is if you're seeing this video and wondering. Now, the way that they communicate with me, because I am a psychic medium and I've trained myself to receive information here that does not come from me, that comes from an external consciousness or soul or being, entity, whatever, I can hear them a little bit easier. I'll get a word, they'll send me a feeling, they'll give me a sentence. I'll meditate and have a team meeting, and we'll meet in this little room that I made up in my head where I talk to my guides and we have a meeting. And they'll tell me what they need to tell me, or they'll answer my questions, or they won't answer my questions. Depends on what I'm asking. Um, but you can get information that way if you are good at channeling and have honed your abilities. But if you're more of a beginner, you can ask your guides to send you signs. Am I on the right path? Please make it clear to me that I'm on the right path. And then you'll get some kind of sign the next day. Or you could say to them, send me a blue cat so I know, I'm on the right path. And then maybe you'll see it and you'll say, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Or maybe you don't see it and you're like, oh crap, I guess I'm not. I gotta I gotta change it up. Whatever it is, however you want to work with them, but they will give you signs much like spirit when you ask your loved ones, send me this, send me that, so I know you're around. Very, very similar process. It's just a little bit of a different source and a different purpose. Because for our loved ones, we just want to know that they're okay and that they're there and they still exist. Our spirit guides a little bit different. There's a little bit more of a focused do this, do that type of thing. Now, this exercise that I'm going to give you is technically a meditation. So before you hear that word and you turn this video off because you're like, oh my God, Joe, I can't meditate. I'm really bad at it. I can't quiet my mind. It's not that kind of meditation. It's more of a visualization in a meditative state, if you will. So I'm not going to do it with you. I'm going to give you instructions because I want you to do this how it's most comfortable for you. And I don't want to make it such a big deal because people think, oh my God, my guides. And it's going to be this booming voice that, you know, once you make contact, you hear like the voice of God. Not how it happens. So I want to make this sort of off the cuff, real easy, something you can try a bunch of times. Um, and there's no real pressure. So what you're going to start, how you're going to start is I want you to get a pen and paper, a pad, something where you can write stuff down because each time you do this, I want you to date it. You can put the time, um, and I want you to write what you get because I think it will be helpful later on. And for another exercise that I want you to try to do after you meet your guides. So, however you meditate, or however you think you should meditate, just find a quiet spot where you won't be interrupted. This shouldn't take more than 15 minutes. It's a real quick one, maybe even 10. If you don't have a lot of time, you could do it pretty quickly. Just got to find a quiet place. I recommend not laying down in case you fall asleep. I would sit up, whether it's in a bed like my bed behind me, or in a chair, but somewhere where you won't be interrupted in the outside world, like won't leak in. For instance, I meditate in my bedroom because I live in Manhattan and my apartment is loud in my living room because I live on an avenue across from a tunnel. So it's loud. So I meditate in a quiet place, right? Duh. We all know this. Just start by taking some deep breaths, maybe 5, 10 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, like any other meditation, just to kind of clear away the day. If you do any kind of energy clearing, energy protection, you can do that now. Not necessary. Nothing in this meditation is going to harm you, drain you, scare you, etc. It's all good. The next thing I want you to do is just visualize yourself floating in outer space. You could see it as pitch black darkness. You could see it as, darkness with maybe there's a sun in the distance and stars and however you want to see it. And just imagine yourself floating forward through space, weightless. It's warm. I know space isn't warm, but we're going to say that it is. Just a real comfortable, safe, expansive space. Then I want you to let the vision come to you. You're not going to create it. You're going to imagine a door just there in space. It could be on a platform. Maybe it's the door to a house. That's fine too. I usually just see it as kind of a door on like a little platform, and take note of what the door looks like. Maybe it's big, maybe it's small, maybe it's ornate, maybe it's not, maybe it's a color, maybe whatever it is, just examine it. Take note of how it looks. Are there things you recognize on that door? Is it just a plain wooden door with a silver doorknob and that's it? Whatever, doesn't matter. As you approach this door, I want you to remind yourself in this meditation, and more so have the intention that when you turn this doorknob and open this door, you're going to meet one of your guides. One of your guides will be behind that door. You could take a couple of deep breaths here. You can continue looking at the door, contemplating. Maybe you even want to listen and see if you hear anything from the other side of the door. I don't suggest doing it that way. I'd rather open the door, but maybe you do. Again, this is your meditation. You kind of got to go with the flow here. We're not creating it, we're letting the experience come to us. This visualization in this relaxed state. When you open the door, you're going to just kind of walk in and just take note of what you see, what you hear, what you taste, what you smell, what you feel emotionally, maybe physically. You do not have to immediately walk through that door in your mind and have a complete vision of who your guide is and they shake your hand and tell you, "Hi, my name is Joe," or whatever it is. You might just see a color and feel happy and a warmth, or maybe you feel a power and it's strong and you smell, I don't know, tobacco or something, or flowers. Don't judge. Don't try to make anything happen. Don't go into this hung up on, I need this, this, and this from my guides. You have to let them reveal themselves to you as they want to. So spend a minute or two just kind of observing, seeing what you feel. And after a minute or two, I just want you to ask them two things. Two things. One, is there anything I should know about you? Maybe it's the function that they serve in your life, or maybe it's, this is what I look like, and they'll show themselves to you. Just ask if there's anything they feel you should know. Just see if you get anything. If you don't, it's fine. This is probably your first time doing this, so it's okay. You're going to try this a million more times. Then I want you to ask them, how do you show up in my life? How will I know when you're there? Maybe they show you something. Maybe you get a feeling. Maybe your left arm starts to tingle. Maybe you get an itch on your big toe. Maybe your earrings. Who knows? It can come through in any way. But those two things are important. And I do want you to try to be open. Don't judge it. Don't get disappointed if you don't get a name. That is the number one thing that people freak out about. I want to know what my guides' names are. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what your guides' names are. I'll explain about that in a second. But after you have this experience, I want you to just thank them, close the door behind you, go back out. And then, you can imagine yourself floating back through space, or you could just open your eyes and, start writing down. Whenever you come out of it, just write down everything about the door you can hopefully remember. That's why you want to make this short too. You don't want to forget. You don't want information overload. Write down what you got. Maybe you got a name, maybe you didn't. This is what I felt with this guide. Make sure you date it, make sure you keep it in its own page or its own little section. And if you do get the sign or the way that you'll know that they're around, I want you to start paying attention to that in your life. And you can repeat this exercise for however many times you want. You may meet a new guide each time. You may meet the same one each time. Maybe, if your left hand tingles or the palm of your right hand itches or something, that's that same guide. Even if you don't have a name, we need an identifying characteristic or something. So that's what you're trying to develop here in these meditations. And it's okay if you don't get it the first time, but you'll figure it out. The reason why I say names are not important is because energy doesn't work like the physical world. We know each other by our essence, by our energy on the other side. You don't need a name. We live thousands of lives. We have past lives, we have future lives. If I came to you in a future life we have together and I say, hi, my name's Joe Peretta, you're going to be like, okay, who the hell is that? You need to come through to someone the way that they're going to know you, because that's how you knew them in the physical world. These are not physical world beings. Some of them have never even lived in this density of the 3D. They've always been on a higher level of existence, a spiritual plane, a non-physical reality. You know, that doesn't matter to them. So they may give you a name. They could tell you, you pick a name, but you'll eventually come to know their energy by the way you experience it in your body. If you're very intuitive, I just know which one of my guides are which because I know their energy. And I think all of you watching this will eventually get to that point. So that's really as simple as it is. You could try this once a day, you could do it once a week, but eventually you'll start to notice a pattern. You'll start to kind of meet your guides, get to know them a little bit. You can ask them different questions once you sort of understand who they are. And you could say, oh, it's this guide again. Let's just say, you call him Bob, or maybe he says, my name is Bob, whatever. Usually it's something a little more interesting, but well, no offense to Bob out there if you're watching. And then you can start asking questions. Okay, so what is your function? And who else are you with? Uh, Anything you're curious about, spiritual questions. What happens when we die? What happens, when we reincarnate? You could ask big, high level questions, or again, you could ask, what time should I leave to get a good parking spot? They'll probably help you with that too, honestly. Um, and again, it's simple as that. And this is the way that you kind of start working with your guides, getting to know them, understanding what their purpose is, understanding why they're in your life. And this will give you a concrete sort of way of knowing when they're there, because they may have shown you a sign, or they may have shown you, a way to let you know that they're around. But I think that's really it. Let me know in the comments if um, you have any questions, any suggestions. But this is how I met my guides. This is the method I used, and this is the method that I always give people. It's better to do it yourself than to, you know, let give it to a medium or a psychic or some other channel. It's not a bad thing to do, but why would you want to? Just meet your own people. It's so much better that way. So yeah, that's really it, you guys. Thanks for watching again. Let me know in the comments if you have any, questions, comments. I'd love to hear your stories if you try this and it works for you. I think it should work for most people if you're open to it and you give it a chance. I'd love to hear if you want to share. But yeah, until then, thank you for watching, and please go over to my YouTube show. Me and a really great team. It's called Voices from the Grave. It is a true crime paranormal show. I think you'll really enjoy it if you like this type of content. It's really cool, really interesting investigation that goes over the span of 12 episodes, and only 8 of them are out now. We filmed season 2. It's all in the works. So go check that out and add me on Instagram and TikTok at Joe Peretta if you want more short form content. I kind of put the longer stuff on here. There's more shorter, sillier things over there on different social media. But yeah, thanks again for watching, my friends, and I will talk to you soon.